My name is Phoenix, the College Success Coach. I help students optimize their college experience by giving them the tools, information, and strategy to help them to be successful in college while they're there, when they graduate, and for their life after graduation. For those of you who are getting ready to register for your first semester of college, it is an exciting time, but there are some key pieces of information that you need to know so you can have a successful first semester. So if you're ready to check out that, then stay tuned. I am happy to talk to you today about some of the information that you need to know to register for your first semester of college, because your first semester is a very important semester and sets the foundation for your 4 years or your 2 years at your university. So today we're going to talk about some useful tips and information that students may not know or may not consider before they register for classes. There are a variety of different ways that universities help students to register for their first semester. Some do it during orientation, which is right before the semester begins, but many colleges and universities do it virtually online through various methods. So there's some information that you need to know now before you make important decisions about your first semester of college. So before you actually pick out your classes, you need to think about the time of day that is going to be optimal for you to attend classes and be able to get your assignments done, and for you to be able to be fully functioning and participating in class. If you are a morning person, then definitely, if you are able to pick the times of your classes and you have no other responsibilities, you might want to try to get all your classes done in the morning. So perhaps you can have a campus job, or you can get some other tasks or other things done throughout the rest of your day. If you are not a morning person, I highly suggest that you do not take an 8 a.m. class. There are more students than I can count who have not been successful because they could not get themselves to an 8 a.m. class. Now, many students may not have the option to pick the time of their class, and you may find yourself that when you are in receipt of your schedule for your first semester, you have an 8 a.m. class. So you can use that as an opportunity for you to do some thought and strategy about how you're going to get yourself to that class. Even though you may have had a problem in the past, maybe this is an opportunity for you to change that behavior. You want to make sure that you are choosing classes that are at a time that would be effective for you. You also want to try to choose classes that are not going to be a class that you have anxiety about, if you have math anxiety, or a class that you did not do very well in high school. If you can, try not to take classes that you have some sort of anxiety or negative feeling about during your first semester, because you want your first semester to be as successful as possible, because it will set the foundation for the rest of your academic years at the university. So those are some things that you should consider. Also, for those of you who have AP credit, IB credit, or if you took college classes while you were in high school and you want to have those classes transfer into the university, you want to make sure that the classes that you register for your fall semester do not duplicate those credits. So you can often talk to your advisor if they have received those credits, or if the university has received those credits, about what requirements for the university that those incoming classes fulfill. So you want to make sure that you get that information. If you can get that information before you register, definitely make sure you're not duplicating those efforts. If you can't get that information before you register, try not to take a class within that same discipline as your credit that you're transferring in, or as the AP or IB exam scores that you're transferring in. That's an important thing to do, because you don't want to pay for that same thing, that same credit twice. The other thing, the last thing that I think students need to consider before they actually get into the actual course catalog or the actual selection of classes that they have for the semester, is to think about the different options that are out there. If you have a major, that's great. If you don't have a major, that's fine as well. Your first semester is an opportunity for you to explore what's out there. So it's an opportunity for you to take classes in your major. There's an opportunity for you to take classes that are required by the university, but it's also a chance for you to explore. Many colleges and universities have a freshman level class that will cover an array of topics that you can choose from. So that's an opportunity for you to get to exposure to something that is not in your major, or something that is in your major. So I would recommend to try to take a class that you've never experienced before. Maybe the topic is interesting, but maybe it's something you were considering for your major, but not within your major. So that's a good way to get exposure to the different possibilities of majors and minors and opportunities at the university. There are sometimes really great professors who are not in your major, or who you may never experience unless you ask around and see who they are and what disciplines they teach. So you may be drawn to a professor, and that professor teaches their discipline in such a way that it's engaging and intriguing, and perhaps you will switch your major, or you will add a minor, or you'll just have an experience of learning something new and something different that you have never thought of before. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is to make sure that you are taking 15 credits per semester. Most schools have a certain amount of credits that you need to graduate, and if you don't take at least 15 credits each semester, you will not graduate in 4 years. It's not likely that you'll graduate in 4 years unless you're taking summer classes or classes at other terms so that you can make up those credits. Now, there is often a case where a student will need to withdraw from a class or drop a class and not get the credit. But if you start off with at least 15 credits, it's better than if you take 12 credits and then you have to withdraw, which leaves you even lower. But you want to make sure that you're doing your best to make sure you take at least 15 credits per semester. So that's one key tip as well. So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is that you will have an opportunity to take classes in your major, most likely during your first year, and you will have probably your introductory classes that you will take during your first year, and those are key and important. They lay the foundation for the classes that you have to take as you go on in your college career and in your major. So you want to make sure that you're successful in those 100 level classes. So if you have an opportunity to take a class that you're really interested in, the introduction to marketing, the introduction to anthropology, introduction to sociology, whatever intro level class will probably give you a general sense of your major. It's a good idea for you to also know the other classes that are required for your major, so that when you do have to take those upper level classes, if there's a prerequisite for one of the classes that you're really interested in, you will have had those classes during your freshman year, so that you can go in depth into the specifics of your major that you're interested in. Also, if you're interested in minoring or double majoring, it's a good opportunity for you to get an exposure to the different options within your major, so that when it's time for you to take those classes, you'll know the prerequisites, if there's a math prerequisite or another course prerequisite before you take that class. Many majors will have the option for you to take electives within the major, or there just may be elective courses that you can take, because in order to get a degree you need a certain amount of credits. So many students don't take this option as seriously as they should. They don't do any planning or forethought about their electives, but now during your freshman year or the summer before your freshman year, you can give that some thought. And it can possibly, if you do it early enough, give you a new direction or a new opportunity to major or minor in something else. So one thing that students often don't consider is their passions, their pursuits, their interests. If you're really interested in social justice issues, then there possibly may be a course that is on that topic that you can take that'll fulfill an elective. If you're really into politics, there's possibly a course on that topic that may be of interest to you. If you are really interested in the environment and saving the planet, there's possibly some science courses that are within that discipline that you can take that will possibly expose you to different things, different majors. You should take courses in your interest level that follow your passion, that fulfill interest for you, because you never know where it will go. Another thing that you can consider when you are looking at your classes that you're going to take to fulfill electives is if there is a faculty member who is in your field, who's really, their research is really world renowned. They have really good a really good reputation within the field. Perhaps they don't work at your university, but if you do some groundwork now, you can possibly take a semester or take a summer or take a class online with that very professor who's the leader in your industry. You never know what opportunities may result from that, because you know, if you are able to study under someone who's an expert in their field, who's able to display their passion and discipline, their passion for their discipline and their understanding of their discipline in a unique and new way perhaps, then that is an opportunity that I would not pass up. So definitely, if you know a faculty member who is an expert in biology, for say, or engineering, or whatever your major is, definitely you can do that research now to see who are their experts, who are the faculty experts, what research are they doing. If there's interesting research that you are interested in, perhaps that can be a summer internship or a summer experience, or an experience that you have an opportunity to pursue that you may not have had at your university that you're going to. So definitely do that, check that out, and find out for yourself what that is. The other thing that you want to consider when you're looking at electives is to see if you can take a class that will help you to learn a new skill or improve on a skill that you already had. Many students, as I often say, graduate from college, they have a great GPA, but they didn't have an opportunity to gain some important skills that they needed to get a job within their major. So if it's an interest of yours, for example, I took a video production class during one of my times in school. Had nothing to do with my major, but it was of interest to me. Look, I'm producing videos right now. So that resource was helpful. Technology is always a good skill to be able to develop. Learning, understanding code, writing code, those are great skills to have. Any type of technology. Social media is a great skill to have if there are courses or opportunities for you to learn those types of skills. Communication, public speaking is a great skill that students need to have. So there are various opportunities for you within your actual classes to learn important skills that will look great on your resume, and to be able to articulate how those skills are important in a future job, in a future career, in a future internship is key and important. So being able to identify important skills that you need for your major, for your career interests, for your discipline is very important. And if you can take a class that will help you to further develop those skills, that is important and key and a great idea for you to consider during your time at your university. To recap, there are a lot of things that you need to consider and think about and know before you register for your classes each semester, specifically your first semester, because it will lay the foundation for your rest of your time at the university. So definitely make sure you are picking classes at a time that is good for you to be participating in class, to be on time for class, to get your projects and papers and assignments done. You want to make sure you're taking at least 15 credits of classes so that you can make sure, or try to make sure, you're graduating, you're on the path to graduate in 4 years and on time. You want to try not to pick classes that you have anxiety or fears or some negative thoughts and feelings about from high school. If you can take a class that will allow you to pursue a passion of yours, be it a political passion, a social justice passion, an environmental passion, a rights, women's rights, any passions that you have. If there are opportunities for you to take a course that will allow you to explore that passion, definitely take advantage of those. If you can take a class that will introduce you or teach you to a new skill or way of thinking, definitely do that as well. And then definitely you want to make sure that you are thinking strategically about the courses you're going to take. You're not duplicating your efforts. If you already have credit for a certain part or requirement for your major, then definitely don't duplicate those efforts. Think strategically. Use your advisor, use the software and systems that they have in place, use the course catalog, ask questions, ask upperclassmen about faculty they would recommend, ask your dean or your department chair for your major about courses that they would recommend, about programs that they would recommend, about fellowships or opportunities that they would recommend. Putting yourself out there so you can make the most of your college experience is key, and it's important, and it will make you have the most successful time and the most optimized experience during your time at college. So that's it for today. I hope this was enjoyable. I hope you learned a lot, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Follow me on social media if you want to hear other useful tips. I often do Instagram posts, and I often share other information and resources for you on Instagram. So follow me at The College Success Coach. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to talking to you. If you comment below about what you would want to hear me talk about some more, for those of you who are about to go to college, I am interested in helping you out as best I can. So definitely share with your friends, like if you liked it, and I look forward to talking to you for the next video. Thanks.